All right. Hi, yeah, I'm Martin Compton. I'm a teacher trainer at a large London further education college. Been doing teacher ed stuff for about 7 years, but my background is history, English, and I've always been interested in the technology side of things, but I'm not a techie. I try and avoid the nerd label, though a lot of people apply it to me. And I make a distinction between, IT teachers, people who know about coding and software packages and what have you, and people like me who are focused on pedagogy, first and foremost, of our subject specialisms. And it's the technology that provides a bridge, I suppose, between the subject knowledge and the pedagogy. So it's about using technology, subverting technology in ways that are easy for non-techie people. So people think of me as a techie because I use so much technology, but I'm not. And the reason I can use so much technology is because I've got three criteria that I use. First of all, as a starting point, it needs to be free. So, open source or freemium or an advertising model or something like that. There are occasions when I pay for an account because I like something so much, and that's how it's designed. But by and large, what's free? Secondly, is it easy? And what I say to people, because easy is such a relative thing with technology, I say to people, look, remember the first time you saw PowerPoint? Yeah. Everything that I use or that I will show you has got a shallower learning curve than PowerPoint. That's really important. Nothing I use with people in terms of web-based education apps or increasingly productivity tools, not specifically designed for education, but that can be used for it, have to be easy by that criterion. And then thirdly, probably most importantly, of course, is can it be used in an effective way to bridge my pedagogic approach to my subject specialism in creative, innovative ways that bring the students on board, get them excited, get them engaged, and turn them into co-collaborators and enthusiasts. So that's my philosophy. That's what I do. The first cloud tool, I suppose, that I can remember using, it may be because I still show it to people now, is a little mini animation app that I think was designed for some kind of petition or whatever, where you can author up to 3 scenes of animated characters with speech bubbles. It's called Devolver, Devolver, or D-Film, some people call it. And it's absolutely fantastic. One of the characters is a little scantily clad, so you have to warn the teachers who might be a bit sensitive to those things. But it's a brilliant way of creating instant animations for setting up objectives, doing a plenary, getting the students to identify the key points, asking questions in an avatar voice, whatever. And I still use it today. And this is one that I've been using for 10, 11 years now. And it's still there. It's fantastic. So that's the first thing I can remember. Coming straight into the present, I think my current favorite is s'more. Now, s'more, I'm led to believe, is a North American Canadian term for a kind of biscuit that has marshmallows in it or something like that. And I think the reason why they've named it like that is because you sandwich bits of information together. You pile it up like a giant burger or something. Now, initially, they set it up as an online flyer creator. And what they've realized, I've had some exchanges of emails with the creators, is that teachers are using it as a sort of go-to alternative learning management system. And I've shared with you earlier an example of how I used it to present at a research conference at a university. And within that are links to 2 examples of how I've used it to create modules, to host modules. So whereas in the past you might have a VLE, choose any name you like, and you go in and you add a new resource and you click through and you label it, whatever. The time it takes to put one element into any VLE, I don't care which one it is, any VLE, I can have the structure of my s'more done and dusted, and it looks nicer. So for me at the moment, my current favorite really is s'more. You can embed video directly, embed audio directly. The design interface looks really, really sharp. You can link between s'mores. It's a fantastic tool. It really, really is. It just works so well. It's seamless. It's effective. The embedding function makes it really nice so that you can remove the analytics on the right-hand side, which are there by default. So you can just embed it in a blog, or if you really want to, embed it in your VLE. So you get your click counts in your VLE if that's what you really want, but also you get the nice interface of small. So I love that. I absolutely love that. And that's a real current favorite. In terms of what's most useful, I'm a little bit torn, but I think probably Twitter. Now, that might not be a very exciting response. And still a lot of people, you know, you mentioned social media in a training session, whether it's one on using technology or just teacher training session or whatever. And you will always get half a dozen people going, oh, yeah, because we really want to know what you had for breakfast. And, you know, breaking that prejudice down is the first important part of it. But for me, you know, I do tweet quite a lot. I've got 3 active accounts, a personal one, 2 professional ones, and another one that I rarely use, but sometimes look at some filtered stuff. But the way I use it is just to filter out masses and masses of content and new creations and new ideas. So I follow trusted people, and if they tweet something about a new tool that does X, then I've already filtered out a lot of the garbage of trying to look for these things myself. You know, people say, how do you find this stuff? Well, Twitter finds it for me because of the way that I've set it up. You know, it's absolutely brilliant for that. But also, you know, increasingly, Twitter works nicely with other tools. So I don't know if you've come across Storyfy, for example. It's a brilliant tool for harvesting hashtags on Twitter. So you do a hashtag search in Storyfy and then just pull all of the elements from that hashtag into a single document, and then you have either a PowerPoint style presentation or a linear scroll or a boxed representation of all the best tweets on that hashtag. So the PGC students the other day did some research presentations at the university, and we set up a hashtag, and then in the lunch break while I was eating my sandwich, I storyfied all of the tweets, sent it around, and everyone was going, but how could you possibly have created that? You know, I only saw you 10 minutes ago. People don't realize how quick and easy it is to do these things. So Twitter, I think, is probably the most useful, actually, particularly when you link it to something like Storyfy. One of the newest ones that I've started using, I don't know whether you've come across, I've always been a fan of Audio Boom, previously Audio Boo, but for, I don't know, excitement and being a little bit different, my current favorite podcasting tool is Spreaker. So that's speaker with an R in it, Spreaker. And the reason I like it is because not only can you insert Creative Commons free audio tracks by artists that want to get themselves out there, so you've got a range of different music types. You get a mixing desk where you can fade in and out your microphones and your tracks and your sound effects for 30 minutes at a time. And above and beyond that, you can broadcast live. So it's like a live podcasting Periscope equivalent, but it's absolutely brilliant. It's got a fantastic interface. I introduced it to a guy that teaches music technology, and he fell in love with it straight away. And all his students did their final assessment on Spreaker, playing extracts of their own music, introducing it, fading in, fading out. Honestly, radio quality broadcasts they were doing. Really, really fantastic. So Spreaker, I think I would definitely recommend. One I heard about recently, I have seen it sort of on the periphery. It's kind of a colourful alternative to Socrative, which is a quizzing tool from mobile devices, and that's Kahoot. And one of my students showed that to me the other day, and I thought, oh yeah, this is really easy. You know, you just get a room number, you go in, you answer the questions, boom, and it shows you the results. It looks nice, it looks colourful. I can see why some people might think, oh, it's primary or it's compulsory ed. But actually, I would definitely give it a go because it looks straightforward, but I've got to give that a proper try myself. But it does look really nice. I've also been using the mind mapping tool in Go Conquer. I don't know if you've seen that. It used to be called Exam Time. They changed it to get rid of the word exam from the review. It started off as a flashcard maker, but to be honest with you, I think Quizlet do the flashcards better than anybody's ever going to manage it. They're fantastic. But they also have this mind mapping tool in there. And what's brilliant about it is that you can create a mind map in a session as you build you know, you co-create the knowledge, you know, develop, or you can prepare something in advance and play it, run it like a video. So it grows organically and the students can see the development of the ideas as they grow with the subtopics and the sub-subtopics and so on. So that I think it is fantastic. The tool that I probably miss most at the moment, it's hard to say. I mean, I've already mentioned, so it'd probably be that, but to say something different and for its really effective functionality for both collaboration with students or simply to get everything down there in readiness for a session that isn't PowerPoint or a PowerPoint clone, I use Linoet. It's a post-it note tool, and you can just put your post-it notes in, put your links in, put your structure in. If people want objectives, they're there, but you don't have to make a big deal out of it. If people want backup handout resources because they're struggling, then you've got some differentiation. You can put extension activities on a board, and it's all there already, all done. So I plan a lot of lessons using Linoet, and I think that's really effective. I mentioned Socrative before. I want to use that a lot more. I think we've gone well beyond the tipping point in terms of mobile devices in the classroom. And if people don't have a smartphone, you can find a way to give them access to a Chromebook or a laptop or something. And failing that, good old-fashioned fixed PC, there's going to be something that you can use. And if worst comes to the absolute worst, then they can pair up. So I think Socrative, just to, not so much to test knowledge, that when you look at it, you know, multiple choice, what's the right answer? Not interested in that. Much more interested in the way in which something like Socrative can seek the views of a group and then use the results that are instantly displayed as the basis of discussion. So it pulls people into that and it makes them more involved. So, you know, you've got curation, you've got social media, you've got presentation, you've got post-its, you've got mind mapping, you've got quizzing, all sorts of stuff. And I think that sort of eclectic range is representative of my approach. So if those are my favorites, I may have shown colleagues in different subject disciplines another 50 or 60 such tools, and they will come up with a completely different set of favorites because they teach different stuff and they teach in different ways and they have different personalities, different needs, different students, so on. One size in terms of technology and particularly technology training does not fit all, and you have to embrace that, otherwise you're doomed to failure.